Hey YouTube, this is SSNU Productions, here again. Today we will be reviewing the PlayStation 1. Or just the PlayStation. Now here I have the redesigned model, I don't have the original. But it's all the same, it just doesn't have a few features on it. But it's essentially the same exact thing. It's just smaller. Now, this system, for its time, in my opinion, was one of the first solely CD-based systems. I have an LCD screen on mine, but it was solely CD-based, ran off compact discs, which meant it could hold more. Now, this system, when it came out, was actually created in kind of by accident. Originally, Nintendo, after seeing the Sega CD, wanted a CD drive for themselves, so they hired Sony to make it. And it was going to be called the Nintendo PlayStation, and it was going to be an add-on that would go underneath. What Nintendo didn't know is, by the contract they had, Sony would get the rights to all the games made and all the CD add-ons. But Nintendo didn't really like this, and they secretly, behind Sony's back, called up Philips to make their CD drive for them, and didn't tell Sony. So when Sony announced they were working with Nintendo came up and said, don't listen to them. And Sony didn't like this, and they went to work on creating the console for themselves, and this was born. Eventually the deal with Philips fell through, and Philips created another console, the Philips CDI, which, if you probably know, was a spectacular failure. This console, on the other hand, completely opposite. Now, just to let a little basics off, this console essentially 32-bit. It wasn't the best out of its generation, but it was essentially the best selling and best playing. Very simple compact disc drive. You could play audio CDs, that was kind of a big thing then. Power button. The original model had a reset button up here. You got your two controller ports, two memory card ports. Memory cards, pretty much the same thing as PS2. Pretty simple. Now, on the back, we have some ports. We've got a headphone jack. Now these are special ports. If I took the screen off, some of these wouldn't be here. But we got the CD drive. We got an AV in, apparently, and we have a headphone jack. Then we have the AV multi-out, and we have the AC adapter port. On the original model, there was a thing called a parallel port over here, and it was essentially used for a Game Shark cheating device, and Sony eventually removed it, but that didn't stop Game Shark, and they eventually came up with this. Same thing, except it would go into the memory card slot down here. Now the console is very well built too. I've never had a problem with it. It handles very well the games, all fun. Crash Bandicoot made their start, and this system was pretty much solely a 3D system. Not many 2D games were released for it. Its prime competitors were mainly the Sega Saturn and the N64. Before it was even made, it was already being rivaled to the 3DO, but we all know the 3DO story. Other consoles in the generation were probably the Jaguar was out. That one didn't last very long for reasons. But now this system, one of the main things that took this system off was the CDs. The N64 was superior in graphics, but it ran off cartridges. And you could really tell that CDs beat cartridges the day Square left. It created Final Fantasy on the PS1, yeah. This system was my first system. This system is pretty dear to me, and it had a very great predecessors too. It had PS2 and of course the PS3. Even the PSP is out now. And if Sony had never joined the market, I don't know where games would be right now. There would be no Xbox, probably. Things would still be run on cartridges, probably. CDs would have never taken off. Nintendo would still be. Nintendo would be at the top. Sega would probably still be around too. Now this system pretty much said it all. Not really much to say about it. It's essentially 32 bits, runs perfectly. Controller is essentially the same as all PlayStation controllers. Some of the key titles on this thing were Crash Bandicoot, Metal Gear Solid, Spyro the Dragon, Ridge Racer, just to name a few. Twisted Metal came out. It had so many classic titles came out, and it's funny what Sony did to the market. I mean, even the PS3 may not be selling very well now, but it has a legacy. Xbox does not have a legacy as much. I'm not saying Xbox is a bad system, I'm just saying. Alright.